G2.
Well, I carry a wardrobe in my car, basically.
We spoke, but we didn't see you.
That's 6:30. That is 6:30 members, so we might get our special council meeting underway. Welcome members, staff, people of the gallery and those that might be tuning in online. I'd like to start with a statement of acknowledgement. We'd like to acknowledge this land that we meet on today as the traditional lands for the Kaurna people and that we respect their spiritual relationship with their country. We also acknowledge the Kaurna people as the custodians of the Greater Adelaide region and that their cultural and heritage beliefs are still as important to the living Kaurna people today. So just going through a roll call. Seems we don't have Councillor Vallelonga here as of yet. We'll mark him down as an apology, and if he does arrive, it'll be a late arrival. Okay. So moving right along, we have no deputations, and we have decision reports. We have item 4.1, the vacancy of office from ex-Deputy Mayor Ethan White. Any questions or anything, members, before I look for a mover? If there be none, looking for a mover that we received the notification. You're happy to move that way, Councillor Solomon. You're happy to second, Councillor Hughes?
Yep.
Would you like to speak at all to the recommendation, Councillor Solomon?
No, I believe there'll be another opportunity to speak about Ethan's tenure, so I'll leave it as is at the moment. Thanks.
Councillor Hughes, would you like to speak at all to it?
No.
Further discussion? There be none. Are you happy for me to close that one, Councillor Sullivan? I'm going to put that to the vote. All those in favour? That is carried unanimously. Thank you very much. All right, so we're going to move on to item 4.2. This is the Deputy Mayor position and appointment. So we have a recommendation for the Deputy Mayor position, but I might start by maybe calling for some nominations, and if we have multiple, we will move through that process. So, Councillor Lawton, you're happy to nominate?
Yeah, I'd like to nominate Councillor Solomon. I'm sure he's going to take it, but I just sort of put a little bit of statement out there if I can do that at this point in time, or not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, okay. So I worked obviously with Councillor Solomon for the last 3 years. And between that time, I found that he connects well with people, talks easily with others, and builds support quickly. He can hold his seat at the table where it matters most, whether he's speaking with residents, community groups, external partners, or working alongside our CEO and executive team. He represents Gawler professionally and with respect. He listens to different views. We've had conflicting views ourselves, but we always deal with those issues in a respectful manner, and I do appreciate it. And Isaac's, really been a part of changing some of the ways that I think personally as well, which helps me grow and develop. And I believe that he can bring that into the town of Gawler as well. Find him has been hard work and genuine, cares about the community and its future. He brings energy, responsibility and strong work ethic to this role. I believe he has the skills and character to support the Mayor and work effectively with the CEO Council to represent Gawler well. For these reasons, I'm happy to nominate Councillor Solomon, to take on that position.
Thank you, Councillor Lorna. Are you happy to accept that nomination, Councillor Solomon?
Sure, thank you, Councillor Long, for the kind words.
Thank you. Calling for other nominations, Councillor Hennessy.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to nominate Councillor Davies for the same reasons as I did last time. He has experience as a Deputy Mayor. He came extraordinarily close in the last mayoral election. I think it would be worthwhile to have Cody as our Deputy again. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Hennessy. Do you accept that nomination, Councillor Davies? Yes. Do I have any further nominations? So there be none. No further nominations? There be none. I'm going to hand over to our CEO, Chris Kelly, to explain how the election will run.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. So, as per the recommendation, we will run a secret ballot process, and I'd ask that you put the name on the ballot paper that you wish to be Deputy Mayor. I'll get Susie to distribute some ballots, and I will act as your returning officer. And
Mayor, did you need to get a seconder for those nominations? No? Is that not necessary? Fine.
Is it not? I don't believe it is.
Okay.
I think acceptance from the
Yeah.
candidates.
The other point of order is, unless we've actually had a written apology from Councillor Babalanga, I've actually think it's a non-attendance. So can you let me check, please?
Through Mr Mayor, I can confirm I've just received a text, actually at 6:32.
Okay.
Hi Chris, I'm unable to make 6:30, I'm still 45 minutes away.
Thank you.
So you will be a non-attendance for this special council meeting.
Can I just say, I don't think Mr Valorona knows the meeting starts at 6:30.
I messaged him again today.
Are we
And I
going to
believe
have
Chris.
the chance to speak before the...
Yeah, absolutely. So just prior to any voting, I might ask the candidates to say a few words. Is it okay with the candidates if I just do it in the order of nomination? Is that perfect? All right, no worries. So before we fill out our ballots, I'm just going to hand it over to Councillor Solomon.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. And thanks to my colleagues. Obviously, everyone understands the role of Deputy Mayor as being the person who steps up when the Mayor is absent and unable to perform the duties of their role. But I think in the last few years, or over an extended period of time, that has taken another shape as well as part of the leadership team and part of helping to connect councillors and the leadership of this council. So I want to talk tonight a little bit about what is good leadership, and I wanted to start at the very first time which I entered this room, the very first time which I spoke here, which was not sitting at this table but standing over there at that lectern. I was 19 years old. I came into this room with one thing on my mind, and that was my peers and the situation which they faced at that period of time. There was issues with transport, which I won't rehash again because I've told that story many times, but one of my friends earlier that week had just told me that they would be moving away from Gawler because they couldn't get to uni in less than 2 hours, and they decided that not only would it be beneficial for them to move closer to get an education, but they didn't see a future for themselves in Gawler. They didn't see a career, and they didn't see the ability to build a family and a home here. Just the week before, another person had told me that they decided to stop studying at university because it was too onerous for them to get there, and so they decided that they would discontinue that, and they never ended up going back, even after the transport continued. But I was looking for one thing when I came into the chamber, and that was leadership from the council that was there to represent us. And I think I was looking for someone who would listen, someone who would understand, and especially someone who would advocate on our behalf. Since being elected to council in 2022, I'm immensely proud of some of the things that we've achieved as a chamber, and I've taken some examples of things that I not only advocated hard for, but I think that we as a group have contributed to, which show the kind of leadership which we should be aspiring to as a council. The Christmas parade is just one small thing I like to comment on, because that is something which brought our community together. But what it required from us as a council was the courage to take that on, and despite the cynicism and the criticisms that were out there in the community at the time, we did decide to do that, and now it is one of the main events in the Christmas calendar, not only here in Gawler, but around in the surrounding areas as well. And that started by listening to the two women who came up with the idea and taking that and being part of that with our community. That's what leadership looks like. I also reflect on the southern rural areas, not as a single issue, but as a point in time where this council decided to do something a little bit different. I was of the belief that for a long time the council had been defined by our opposition to things, what we weren't and what we didn't want. Now I see a council which is defined by the opposite of that, which is to understand not just what we don't want, but what we could be, and to start to design a vision for the future of our town. To me, that's what leadership looks like. Leadership's about integrity. It's not just about what you say in public, but it's about carrying those values behind closed doors as well, and keeping true to those values, no matter where you are or who you're speaking to, and that's what leadership looks like. It's when the residents of Evanston Park came to us and wanted an ear to listen to their issues, and we could have turned them away and we could have said, this is not our responsibility, it's someone else's problem, and that's what we were told, it's someone else's problem, but we didn't do that. We took responsibility for our role as advocates for our community. That is what leadership looks like. And I refer back to the mantra that I started with in this council, which is the small things done right. And that's not some cynical catch cry about only picking up bins and filling in potholes. What it is a recognition that so often people in positions of power can see people's issues as being insignificant. But what we have done is we've turned that around and we've said, these small things can have such a profound impact on your life when we invest in them. That's things like investing in our sporting clubs, having a dog park, making sure that our infrastructure, our buildings are accessible to the wider public, making sure that our services are of a good quality and are consistent throughout. I think that this next year is going to be, what's left of this year until November, is going to be incredibly challenging. We have the first major budget of our new CEO, or not so new CEO, as it might be anymore. But it's also the first time that we're back in black. The first time we can actually chart a course for our town, and we need to get those small things right. So in all these ways that I've mentioned, good leadership, being courage and integrity, the willingness to listen, and the willingness to stand up when it's important, those are the kind of things that I want to bring to the role of Deputy Mayor. And I just would say that no matter who gets elected to the position of Deputy Mayor, I think that they'll serve this role well, and that anyone in this chamber would also bring those same values. But I hope tonight that my reasons for nominating are clear, and thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Solomon. Councillor Davies.
Thank you. Once again, I'm putting my hand up for Deputy Mayor. We may only have 9 more monthly council meetings until the end of the term, but while it's a short time period, it's not a small task ahead of us. There's a lot of work we need to do in future-proofing this town, and I'm deeply passionate about being part of the leadership team that pushes us forward on this. There's so much I'd love to talk about, so many unresolved threads I'd like to be part of resolving, like the topic of building towards a strong and diverse candidate pool in the upcoming council elections. But I only have 5 minutes to speak, so I'd like to spend it on the elephant in the room, our biggest opportunity and our biggest challenge as a council. This town has already been changing rapidly, but will soon undergo huge changes as never before seen. I'm talking, of course, about the Cuddler Growth area, which will be starting sooner rather than later, and has been earmarked for, at the latest estimates, around 16,000 new homes, which would result in more than a doubling of Gawler's population. We are already doing great work on the technical and logistical aspects of this, with our mayor and elected body and our CEO and staff and local MPs working together on planning and design feedback. But our cultural infrastructure for supporting this town to remain a community is still lacking. If we dream of being a distinct town that's the gateway to the regions, which I know our mayor believes in, and if we don't want to just become miscellaneous suburbs, if we don't want to just become Manapara North, that cannot be achieved with inaction. If we do nothing, we will become just suburbs. And I know I'm a bit of a broken record on this. It's the platform I ran for mayor on. It's the reason I spend so much time on social media, trying to bring the community onto the same page. It's, you could call me a little obsessive, but it is important, not just to me, but to many of us who call this community home. Let's get into a bit of a breakdown on what the demographics of this future majority of Gawler's population will look like. As seen from the info we already have about new developments in our town. At the last census, the median age of someone living in the suburb of Gawler, so not the town but the suburb, was 57, whereas the median age in, say, Evanston Gardens, when new developments have been prominent, was 30. That's a 27-year average age difference. You'll see in any survey that the council does that this has already led to more of a disconnect between residents and council. In a recent survey in which residents were, which residents are using our council facilities, Evanston Gardens barely made it on the list of suburbs, even though we purpose-built a second library there. The old ways of doing things simply aren't reaching many of our newer residents. Now, answer me this question. In a future where we only really talk to people via rates notices, the newspaper, or even Facebook, how many of those 40,000 new residents will ever really consider Gawler home? We need to support our mayor in the last 9 months of this term, and I believe the best way to do so is to make use of everyone's complementary passions and strengths here on the council. I believe my areas of passion are very complementary to our mayor's vision for the town and to the type of community we're looking to build. I'd love to be part of that as deputy mayor, but to whoever ends up forming the leadership team, all I can ask is that we continue building a town that we can be proud of. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Davies. Well spoken by both candidates. Thank you very much for those words. I'll ask members to cast their vote. Just give the returning officer a moment to count up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As a result of the ballots, I ask that the name of Councillor Solomon gets inserted with the recommendation.
Congratulations, Councillor Solomon. Thank you very much again, Councillor Davies. At this point in time, you might want to think about a conflict of interest.
So, I'll declare a material conflict of interest, and leave to deal with that by leaving the room. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Solomon. Just give you a moment to leave the room. Thank you for that. I'm looking for a mover of the recommendation. You're happy to move that way, Councillor Davies? Would you like to say anything?
Just that Councillor Solomon will do a great job in the role of Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Davies. Do I have a seconder? You're happy to second Councillor Lorna? Would you like to add any comments?
No.
No? All good. Any further commentary before I ask the mover if we close the debate? There be none. Councillor Davies, you're happy for me to put that motion? I'm going to put that motion. All those in favour? That is carried unanimously. Thank you very much. Are we able to get the Deputy Mayor back in? Thank you. Deputy Mayor is now resolved. I'm going to move on to the next item on our agenda. We're just talking about the audit and risk. Item 4.3 on page 9. In Councillor ex-Deputy Mayor White's vacancy, we have a spare spot. So just calling for nominations, if anyone would like to take that spot. As we know, it's a good, informative committee. You'd like to put your hand up, Councillor Lorna?
I think so.
No worries at all. We have Councillor Lorna self-nominating. Now, if there is no other candidates, what we'll do is we'll look for a mover with Councillor Lorna's name there. You're happy to go that way, Deputy Mayor Solomon? You're happy to second Councillor Samble? Any discussion? There be none. I'm going to put that motion. All those in favour? That is carried unanimously. Thank you, Councillor Lorna. Item 4.4, we have a deputy member position for the CAP that is opened up due to a seat vacancy. Looking for anyone that might want to put their hand up for the Council Assessment Panel deputy. Noting I don't think we've had a CAP meeting for a little while.
Yep, why not?
If you're happy to move that, you're happy to self-nominate Councillor Lorna as deputy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes.
Any other nominations for the spot? There be one. I'm just looking for a mover to accept Councillor Lorna as a deputy for the CAP. You're happy, Deputy Mayor, to move that way?
Happy to.
Do I have a second there? Yep. Councillor Sample again, so I saw your hand first. Any discussion?
Well, I might just add that, that what was said was quite true, that, the CAP has a greatly reduced role under the new planning rules, so, yes, if we manage to get to the point where the second deputy member is required to be on there, then it'll be a rare occurrence, but good to have Councillor Lorna on anyway.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Any further discussion? There be none. I'm going to put that motion. All those in favour? That is carried unanimously. Thank you. Now we have, sorry, just finding my pages. Now we have our working group member appointments. we're looking for a single member on Ageing Well Advisory Group, the Football and Associated Sporting Clubs Future Infrastructure Working Group, and Reconciliation Plan. I'll do them one by one. The vacancy that has been created for the Ageing Well Advisory Group. Are you already on, Brian?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're, yes. No, Brian's, I'm getting a bit of a conflict.
It was.
He was.
He was. Okay.
Yep, so sorry, it is in the report, I should have remembered that. So we've got Councillor Hennessy and Ethan White was, so we're just looking to capture Ethan White's spot. Councillor Sample, you want to put your hand up for that one?
Yes.
So it's Councillor Sample. Is there anyone else that would like to be on that group? If not, I might ask a question for you, Mr. CEO. Is it okay if I split this officer's recommendation to call for a mover for the Ageing Well and then do the same?
You can do it the way you wish, Mr Mayor, or you can...
Or I can join it all together if... Yeah, all right, let's try that one out. If it gets awkward, we split it. We've got the Football and Associated Sporting Club Future Infrastructure Needs. Now, this one does have a decent representation. That said, there is a seat vacant. It is a good one, but I think half the room is pretty much on it. So we'll probably put it to the members that aren't, naturally. If you'd like to put up your hand. No? Okay. That one, we don't have a member. And the last one is Reconciliation Action Plan Working Group. We have a vacancy there. To join myself, Councillor Davies and Councillor Hennessy. You're happy to put your hand up there, Councillor Sample, thank you. Was there any other interest there? Okay, we have the recommendation on the screen. If someone wants to put up their hand for the footy one, there's still a chance, but if not, you're happy to move that way, Councillor Hughes? Yep. Looking for a seconder? You're happy to second Councillor Sample? Yep. Any discussion? There be none. I'm going to put that. All those in favour? All those in favour? That is carried unanimously. All good. Sorry, that is now put. I'm just going to close the meeting and I'll answer your question. I've declared the meeting closed at 6:56. We might just have a 10-minute break before we start our information briefing. Thank you very much, members.
Yeah, that'd be great.